Hey guys, hi, hello, namaste, adab, sat sri akal, assalamu alaikum, vanakkam and khama gani to all of you. Welcome to today's class, and as you all know, this is your ICSC grade 10th and this series is all about mind maps. So today we will be talking about two topics, one being coordinate geometry and the other is similarity, right? So we'll be talking about these two sessions, all the main formulas, all the important concepts that I'm going to tell you all in this one part. So whenever you are revising or you want to just revise all the formulas or whatever concepts are there in this chapter, you can just refer to this video and everything will be sorted, right? So let us start the class. So first topic we'll be discussing is your coordinate geometry, right? So in coordinate geometry, first thing, what is coordinate geometry? It deals with the coordinates, location of a point and all that. Okay, coordinate axis, two axes mutually perpendicular to each other. Horizontal one is x-axis, perpendicular one is y-axis, right? Then coordinates of the point, any point, we write it in the form of x comma y. Always we will be writing x coordinate first and then we will be writing y coordinate, right? So suppose 4 comma 3, in which x coordinate is 4, y coordinate is 3. All right, after that, the point where both the coordinates intersect, where both the axes intersect, the point of intersection of both the axes is called origin, and origin's coordinates are 0 comma 0. The origin's coordinate are 0 comma 0. Then first number x in pair, x comma y is the distance of the point P from y axis or x coordinate or abscissa. Another name for x coordinate is abscissa, and the definition of x axis is the distance of a point from y axis opposite. Okay, for x coordinate, distance from y axis, for y coordinate, distance from x axis. But whenever we are looking at the coordinates, normally we use the shortcut method. Suppose if I have to plot 4 comma 3, so 1 2 3 is over here, 1 2 3 4. So from x equal to 4, by I know x is 4, y is 3. So instead of looking in the distance term, what I'll do, from x equal to 4, draw a line, and from y equal to 3, draw a line wherever both will intersect. That will be a required point 4 comma 3. Okay, that will be a required point 4 comma 3. This is just for the definition purpose. Distance of a point 3 from x axis is called y coordinate or ordinate. Another name is what? Ordinate. And for x coordinate, another name is abscissa. Definition is distance of a point P from y axis, just for the definition purpose. All right. After that, there is a small topic called reflection. So in reflection, what we'll do, suppose we have been given a point P. So we can do its reflection in three ways. Okay, one is along x-axis. That means the x-axis will be treated as your mirror. It will be treated as your mirror, and then P's coordinate you will get over here, P dash. Second reflection you can do is along y-axis. In that you will treat your y-axis as your mirror. And the third reflection we can do is along origin. In that I will do the reflection along the origin. So suppose P's reflection I have to find out along origin. So what I can do over here is that join P with O and extend it in the opposite direction till the same point. So this will be your origin diffraction under this origin. All right, so these three kind of reflections are there. Everyone has their simple rules. Okay, so remember this thing. Along the x-axis, suppose when you are doing the reflection along x-axis, so point x comma y, when we are doing the reflection along x-axis, you can clearly see x coordinate remains same, y coordinate changes, it becomes negative. So its reflection will be x comma minus y. If I reflect a point x comma y along y-axis, y coordinate will remain same, x coordinate will become negative. If I keep, suppose, y-axis as my mirror, if I keep, suppose, y-axis as my mirror, in that case you can clearly see that here the image will be somewhere over here. So x coordinate has become negative, y coordinate has remained same, and along the origin both x and y will change their sign. Along the origin both x and y will change their sign. Okay, now in this there is one more important thing, that is invariant points. What is invariant points? Invariant transformation means their reflection. If you will do the reflection, the invariant points are those points whose image also will have exactly same coordinates as the object. So see, if I am doing the reflection along x-axis, So what will be the invariant points? Points whose image will also be same as the same object. So invariant points will be all points on x-axis. Obviously use your brain here. If I keep a point on x-axis and if I ask you find out the reflection of this point along x-axis, so it is the same point only, right? Similarly for reflection under y-axis, all points on y-axis, and if I do the reflection along origin, origin is the invariant point, only one point is invariant, that is the origin. Okay, so their reflections coordinate, the coordinates of their reflection are exactly same as their own as the points coordinate, right? So they are called invariant points, that even after reflection the coordinates will remain same. Okay, so about x-axis, as I told you, y coordinate will change the sign. About y-axis, x coordinate will change the sign. About origin, both will change their sign. All right, now then comes the part of section formula. Where do we use section formula? Remember, whenever we have been given 2 points A and B, and we have a point P which is dividing it in the ratio m is to n. So to remember this formula, remember, suppose A has a coordinate x1, y1, B has a coordinate x2, y2. Acha. One more thing I would like to tell you all, that if you don't want to make any silly mistake in this formula, I would always advise everyone to draw the diagram, simple diagram like this, so that you will not make any mistake in choosing the multiplication. See, always we have to do cross multiplication. So x coordinate of this point P will be multiply m with the cross one, opposite. So m into x2, then n into x1 divided by m plus n. Similarly for y coordinate also opposite, m into y2 plus n into y1 divided by m plus n. ठीक है बेटा? After that, same section formula say you will get the midpoint formula. In this section formula values, if I put, suppose if I have a midpoint, P is the midpoint, so I can clearly say AP and PB will be equal. So ratio of AP upon PB will be equal to 1:1. They both are equal, right? So that means M will be equal to 1. Sorry, M and N both will be equal to 1 if P is midpoint. P is midpoint. So put M and N equal to 1. You will be getting x2 plus x1 upon 2. Bas. Simple thing. So x coordinate of the midpoint will be x1 plus x2 by 2. Y coordinate of the midpoint will be y1 plus y2 divided by 2. Alright. After that, trisection points, beta, if I will consider. So suppose AP is x, PQ is also x, QB is also x. Let's say their length. Trisection means dividing in 3 equal parts. Trisection point means points dividing in 3 equal parts. So P and Q are the points which are dividing the line AB in 3 equal points. So let us say AP, PQ and QB all are equal to x. Now let's see how P is dividing this line AB. How P is dividing this line AB in what ratio? So I can say we have to find out the ratio of AP upon PB. AP is equal to x, PB will be x plus x, 2x. So the ratio in which P divides is what? 1:2. Okay, so if I have to find out the coordinates of point P, suppose A and B's coordinates are given. If I have to find out the coordinates of point P, so I can use the section formula over here. I can use the section formula in this way. A is over here, B is over here, and P is a point where the ratio is 1:2. Simple. Then come to the part of point Q. If we have to find out the coordinates of point Q, so in that case, let's see how Q will be dividing it. Okay, so for Q, I can say, sir, A is over here, B is over here, Q is over here. So ratio is AQ upon QB. So A to Q is x plus x, 2x, divide by x. So the ratio now is 2:1. Bas. So now if we know the coordinates of A and coordinates of B, easily we can find out the coordinates of Q as well. Again, here I would like to tell you all, always draw a diagram for avoiding any confusion. Diagram sorted. Easily you will be able to solve this question. Okay? And one more thing, centroid of a triangle, बहुत important है, very important. So remember the formula for the centroid of the triangle. Okay, what is a centroid? If you don't know, centroid is point of intersection of all the medians of a triangle. All the medians of a triangle. So see how amazing it is that no matter what kind of triangle you are going to draw, all the three medians will be intersecting at the one single point, and that is called your centroid. Okay, so the coordinates of the centroid, suppose this is a point A whose coordinates are x1 comma y1. This is point B whose coordinates are x2 comma y2, and this is point C whose coordinates are, let's say, x3 comma y3, and we have to find out the coordinates of the centroid G. Centroid is represented by G. So x coordinate of this G will be x1 x2 plus x3 whole divided by 3. Sum of all the three coordinates, whatever are the three vertices, sum of their x coordinates divided by 3, and y coordinate will be y1 plus y2 plus y3 whole divided by 3. Okay? This is the formula for the centroid of any triangle, direct formula. Alright, after that the next thing is your equations of a line. So equations of a line mein beta one important thing is your slope, inclination of a line. Alright, so the angle that line makes with the x-axis, angle that the line makes with the x-axis is your called slope. So the angle whatever it will make, that will be called your inclination. Slope is your tan theta of it. Okay, so inclination means the angle at which the line is inclined on the x-axis, Okay, the slope or the gradient of the line is what? Tan theta. Whatever is the theta, it's tan theta. Okay, so angle, what do we do beta? Generally we measure it in the anti-clockwise direction, and if you are measuring it, suppose if you are measuring it in the clockwise direction, then take the negative value of tan theta. All right. Okay, now slope intercept form, there are forms. First form is slope intercept form. So where you will be using it? When you know the value of m and c. What is c? C is y-intercept. For example, this is your x and y axis. Okay, and I have, let's say, this is your line. Okay, so the value of theta, whatever is the value of theta, let's say the theta is measured in the clockwise direction. Whatever is the theta with x-axis, anti-clockwise direction, this is theta. So value of m will be equal to tan theta. If you know the value of m and the point at which this line is intersecting y-axis, that is called c. So if you know these two things, you can use directly this form, y is equal to mx plus c. Second is point slope form, where you know the slope and any one point lying on the line. That means suppose this is the line. You know its slope, m you know, and you know there is one point which is x1 comma y1 lying on this line. In that case, you can use this equation, y minus y1 is equal to m into x minus x1. So when you solve this equation, you will get one equation, linear equation, two variable in the form of x and y. That will be your equation of the line. Alright, so this is everything there in your in the part of your coordinate geometry. Alright, after that the next topic which we are talking is about similarity. But before that, I would like to tell you all that you have a wonderful opportunity right now to join Vedantu's Pro subscription. Trust me, the prices have dropped a lot, and in this end time, even if at this time if you are coming, definitely it is going to be worth it, because your revision will be in the scheduled manner. Many important questions will be discussed over there. You will be having access to unlimited live classes. Doubt solving is also there, which is a very important part. You can download the notes. So systematic thing, you can do your final preparation, and you know that at the end whatever you are doing matters the most. Okay, so the link is given in the registration description box of this video, as well as in the pinned comment section. GPE Pro is your code to get 20% off. I'll tell you more about the prices. Trust me on this, reduced a lot. Let's move ahead first with the next chapter, that is your similarity. Comparatively, the theorems and the number of topics are less, but questions are very vast. So we have solved and discussed lots and lots of questions in the series of Umang series, one shot series. Okay, and that is what we are going to do. So we are just going through the topics over here. So first is how when the two shapes are similar. See, there's a difference. Okay, when I talk about congruency, I want both shape and size are equal. But when I talk about similarity, I want shape is equal. I don't even care about size. Size equal hai to hone do. If it is not equal, let it be. Don't care. Okay. So remember, beta, from here one important thing, that all similar shapes or all similar figures are congruent figures. But converse is not true. Converse, oh, sorry, I've written it wrong. Written it wrong. All congruent figures are similar figures, but converse is not true. If you say that two figures are congruent, you can always say they will be similar as well, because if they are congruent, definitely their shape is always equal. So I can say they are similar also. But converse is not true. Correct nahi hai converse. Kyun bhai? Because if these two triangles, let's say I have told you these two are similar, you can clearly see they are not congruent because sizes are different. All right. So if two polygons, or in our case if we talk about two triangles, the important thing is if two triangles are similar, all corresponding angles will be equal and all corresponding sides will be in the same ratio. Not equal, same ratio. For example, let us say these two triangles we have. Okay, one is your triangle, let's say ABC, and let's say PQR. So if they are similar, so I can say angle A and angle P are equal, angle B and angle Q are equal, angle C and angle R will be equal, and ratio of AB with PQ, ratio of BC with QR, and ratio of AC with PR, all three will be equal. So all the corresponding angles are equal, all the corresponding sides are proportional. Okay, but in case of congruency, what happens is the ratio of the sides becomes 1. That means sides are equal. Okay. Chalo, next part, basic proportionality theorem. Important theorem for you. Any line drawn parallel to any one side of a triangle divides the other two sides in the same ratio. That means, suppose if I have a triangle over here, triangle ABC, and if I draw a line PQ parallel to BC, in that case the segments in which this AB and AC is divided, all the corresponding segments will be in the same ratio. That means I can say AP upon PB is equal to AQ upon QC. Upper part by lower part is equal to upper part by lower part. Also AP upon AB, upper part with whole is equal to AQ upon AC, upper part with whole, or lower part with whole is equal to lower part with whole. All three will be equal. So this is your basic proportionality theorem. Then exists the converse of it as well. Converse, what does it say? See, in converse what happens is, see here I am saying if PQ is parallel to BC. If PQ is parallel to BC, all these ratios are going to be equal. In converse, what I say? In converse, I say that suppose if the same diagram I am drawing over here, ABC, and here let's say PQ. So if I say, suppose if AP upon PB is equal to AQ upon QC, or if AP upon AB is equal to AQ upon AC, upper part with whole, or if PB upon AB is equal to QC upon AC, any one of this ratio is equal, then I can say PQ will be parallel to BC. So condition becomes result becomes condition. Okay? Just the opposite. So if the lines are parallel, ratios are going to be equal. If the ratios are equal, lines are going to be parallel. Alright? This is what the converse of basic proportionality theorem says. Now the criteria for similarity, we don't have much posh. Only three criteria. One is angle criteria, and sometimes people use it as angle also. But if any two are sufficient, why to write the third one? Why to waste the ink? Any two are sufficient for us. So angle criteria, side criteria. So in angle, two angles of this triangle will be equal to two angles of another triangle. Side, 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 ratio of all the three sides, corresponding sides will be equal. And side angle sides, two sides ratio with the corresponding sides of another triangle, and the angle between them must be equal, as the name is suggesting you. Okay, so one angle of a triangle is equal to one angle of another triangle, and the sides including these angles are proportional. Triangles will be similar. Acha, this is the important thing. Suppose if I have two triangles, and let us say triangle ABC. Suppose if I give you triangle ABC is similar to triangle PQR, and if I give you that AB by PQ is equal to BC by QR is equal to AC by PR. Let's say it is equal to say 3:5. And if I ask you what will be the area of triangle ABC upon area of triangle PQR, what will be its ratio? So simple, ratio of the square of the sides. So you can write it as 3/5 whole square. That means 9/25. Simple method, simple rule. Alright, it's proof also, we have done it, so you can check that out. Now, as I was telling you that the price for the courses has reduced a lot, so the link is given in the description box of this video. GPE Pro is your code. So now 1 month subscription is given at 2700, but if you'll apply GPE Pro code, you will get it at just ₹2159, which includes all the subjects. It includes all the subjects. It includes all the subjects. So GPE Pro is your code. So if possible, if you can afford it, very more than welcome to join it. Definitely it is going to help. It is going to help you a lot. All right. So this is all from my side. I hope all of you enjoyed the session. You can use this sessions for the end moment revision, so that you can revise all the formulas which are there, or all the concepts which are there in the given part. Okay, so thank you so much bachcho for attending the session. I hope all of you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to like the video. It won't take more than 2 seconds of your time. Share the video with your friends and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much. I'll see you soon. Bye bye. Sayonara, Khuda Hafiz to all of you. Bye bye.